we're ready to pick our next book. I am so excited for our next book. My spinning wheel should still be up. It is. So we're gonna spin and we're gonna see what we get next. Dreams of the Dying has won. I am low-key very ecstatic that we chose this one. I did not even look into book 2 of the book that wouldn't burn just because I really wanted to stick to the TBR that I had set for this readathon. I will be reading it in July. Like, that book was so good, so amazing, but now it's time for a little horror fantasy, which I'm super excited about. The fact that we got Dreams of the Dying, I am so excited. It's almost like it's meant to be, like signs, you know, I'm all about signs and things that are meant to be, and this was just so easy that it is meant to be. So let's get started on Dreams of the Dying. It's day 8 of Tome Topple. We're into week 2 and I have already started Dreams of the Dying, which was my next read. I was so happy when I saw this pop up because I expressed in the last vlog how when we first spun the wheel and I got the book that wouldn't burn, I mean, I liked that I got the book, but I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get this one. And the gods have blessed me for my second book to be Dreams of the Dying. Now I am only I'm only 27 pages in, which is fine. It is Friday, you guys, and we know that in the weekends it's really hard for me to read. So don't expect a lot of updates this weekend. Really nothing. I mean, I'm 27 pages in. I did get the audiobook for this one because I have a feeling that I'm gonna have a harder time with this one than with the last book that I read. I feel like the last book was very simple, but I'm getting very, look at my bookmark. It's just peeking out from there. I just saw, I'm like, what the hell is peeking out? I feel like this book is going to be a little bit more complex than the last one that I read. Now, I don't want you to think that the last book I read, I feel like I made it seem like it was like a really easy read. There is complexity, and there's complexity a word. There's moments where I was confused, but I feel like compared to this one, that was going to be a piece of cake. So we're following Jespar. First off, when I started reading, I actually checked out the audiobook from Hoopla. I got the ebook from Amazon because this is part of the Kindle Unlimited library. If you didn't know, now you know, and you could check it out. And then I have the physical copy. But from what I can see, this book is an old edition. So what happens is this author, I don't know how to say his name, Nicholas Liatsu, I don't know, I have to look it up. But he had a game, or there was a game connected to this. He created a game, or his name was tied to a game. And basically this was part of that world. But apparently he had to give up his rights for whatever reason. I don't know what it was. He had to cut ties with the game world. And so he has changed a couple of the names pertaining to that world in this book. So I am seeing the differences in, I think one of the places is Azari. I can't remember the name of it was AZA something. But that name has changed. And so I'm going to be encountering that. Now, I don't know if the audiobook has the new names in it. I haven't really caught on, but I do know that, oh yes, the audiobook does have different names in it as well. So there are a little bit of discrepancies between the editions that I'm reading. But first off, you know that I have to talk about the cover. I have already removed the dust jacket, but the friggin' cover is on the hardcover itself. I love when a freaking book does that because I snatch the cover off the instant I start reading it, if it's a hard cover, obviously. Seeing the cover on this, on the binding itself, is just delicious. This is my favorite part of the book. The cover is sick as well, but I mean, it must be like real expensive to do this, but like if we can please start doing this to all the hardcovers, my heart would be so happy. So here we have our character Jespar. Jaspar, and he is, you know, that he is trying to get away from his old life. He's trying to start new. He is in this new city, but he wakes up not knowing where he is. And basically he spent the night having a little bit of fun with a couple of people, and he gets kicked out of the brothel that he's at. And so you know that the reason why he is traveling to the city or to this area is because he is going to get a contract. He's going to make some money, and that is going to set him up to start his new life. Like, no more sleeping out in the cold, no more day jobs. Like, this will really change his life. And so I'm at that part right now where he's getting to this place where he is supposed to have a contract in. We don't know anything yet. We just have like a description of the place that he's at. You know that he's looking for somewhere to wash up, and so he finds this little river, but he has to pay, and apparently this rich person now is charging for people to go into this little river, and a lot of people go there to bathe and clean themselves, get water and all this stuff, and so now they're charging for it. And so he finds that very odd, but I don't know how that ties into the rest of the story. All I know is that he's gonna go and he's trying to start a new life. I'm really liking the character. I'm really liking the descriptions of the setting of this place. It's hard for me to picture things in fantasy books. Sometimes things in fantasy books are like very grand. When the cities are explained and stuff, I really have a hard time coming up with an image in my head. So I like the descriptions that they mentioned, but I don't know what I'm picturing yet as far as the world goes. When we start off this book, I always say that when we start off the book, at the beginning of the book, but when we start off the book, somebody comes to him, like this ghost, this animal centipede looking thing, and he tells Jaspar, did you think that the boy would keep me away? Did you think that he would keep us separated? And Jaspar just keeps saying, you're not real, you're not real, you're not there. And he's like drinking off of his flask, and this demon ghost thing is like, okay, well, if you want to ignore me, that's fine, but my judgment is still there. So I don't know how that plays into the rest of the story. I'm very interested to see who this ghost demon thing is. I have no idea, and who the boy is that, or kid or thing is that's keeping them apart. What does he play like? I'm so curious. I haven't read the synopsis of this one yet, so that's all I'm gonna say for now. I'm hoping that the synopsis for this one is a little bit more detailed than the last book, so I have more to discuss with you guys. But so far, one character, the demon, the city, and what he is after. So I have a good feeling, but I have a feeling I'm gonna be very confused. It is currently 7 something at night. It is so bright and beautiful. Like, I don't want summer to end, because my favorite part of summer is how bright it stays later in the day. Like, I love long days. It's my favorite. And so just looking outside at 7:30, 7:20, whatever, and just seeing the sun and the brightness just makes me so happy. I think that's the worst part of me for winter, is just that it gets so dark. So I don't know why I just went into that, but I looked outside and I was like, it's just so beautiful and so bright, and it just makes you want to conquer the world. In the winter time, when it like starts getting dark at 5, you're like, you want to go to sleep at 5 o'clock, so like your day is done. But not in the summer. Not in the summer. You know what I don't like about summer? These fucking fruit flies. I look like death right now. I don't know why I'm like so washed out, or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Okay, so Dreams of the Dying. First off, I don't know what day it is for Tome Topple. I'm kind of lost. It is Monday today, so I didn't talk to you at all on the weekend because, as I already told you, and as I suspected, I didn't get any reading done this weekend, like 0. Last weekend, I got way more reading in than this weekend. I don't know, I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't push it, so I didn't read any, but I have made a little dent into the book today. I'm at the 115 page mark, Now this book is like all over the place and I don't even know if I can explain it. So I'm just going to tell you what the synopsis is at the moment because it's really all that I know. We have Jespar, and I already told you guys about Jespar. He has gone and he's accepting a contract to do something. He doesn't know what, he doesn't know where. He gets to the city. I think I already told you all of this. Well, finally he makes it on to meet whoever it is that he's gonna go meet, because remember, he doesn't know what this job entails, like who he's working for or anything. He finally gets to meet the wife of the king of the area that they're in. The king, I believe it's the king. It's like, because obviously it's a fantasy world, all the names are crazy, the city's names, the king's names, and they're like other kings and stuff. There is like this war going on, or not this war, there's about to be a war in this city of Calais, and Calais is where he has gone to work. It's like a tropical kind of town, and they're getting attacks here and there, and while he's about to meet whoever he's working for, they have an attack. They get an attack. And so he fights in this attack. He finds it kind of weird or whatever. And then he ends up meeting the wife to the king. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to finally meet you. And he's in his head, he's like, I've never met this lady before. Like, what is going on? And so the guy, let's call him a soldier. The soldier that went and got Jespar. Jespar is like in a brothel. He's like... He's letting time pass by while he waits to be able to go back. I think he has like a couple hours. Like, he signed in at the gate. He's like, here, I got this letter. I'm here for this contract. And so they're like, okay, well, you got to wait a little longer, something like that. So he goes to kill time at a brothel. And while he's at the brothel, this guy, this soldier comes to get him. And he's like, are you Jespar? Whatever. So he takes him to, I forget what the castle is called. And this is where he meets the wife of the king, but there's also another woman there. The actual soldier doesn't know, like, he knows that this guy is there and that the queen has requested for him to fight in this battle, and he's like, I don't know why he doesn't know why the queen got him. He's like a nobody. And so she's about to explain to him that she actually saw him in a dream, but the only part that she saw was his eyes, because apparently he had a mask on, and she remembers seeing those eyes somewhere else. And so she finally falls on whose eyes those are. She remembers that there was this man that saved her life, that literally saved her life, and it was his eyes that she saw in the dream, but she comes to know that that man has died, and so she puts two and two together, and that was his son. And so she goes and in search for him, she requests for him to come and offers him the contract or whatever. The issue is that the king has fallen into a coma, like a mysterious coma. He was trying to undo this law that he made. Like, he became like kind of erratic one day, and he wanted to go back on this law, and he was trying to get the people to back him up, but nobody backed him up. Everybody thought that he was crazy. He's like, the law's already in effect. And so now the wife seeks out these two people. That lady, she was an ex-priestess, the one that was already in the room while they were waiting for Jespar to arrive. She was already in the room, and she's like some sort of medic, but she used to be a priestess, and they're both like just kind of like weirded out because they're there. Like, why them? Like, the whole dream thing, he's like not believing, because he doesn't believe in that kind of stuff. He doesn't believe in like God or gods or anything like that. And this city is very well rooted in like religion. And the thing is that there was this thing that happened many years ago, which was called the Silence. And basically the celestial beings and the gods basically just became quiet one day and weren't talking or giving their people signs. And so this is called the silencing. And so things have been going weird ever since this has happened. But Jespar is really not a religious person. You know that he's gone through something and that he's running from something. And we keep getting flashbacks of like things like, oh, I remember somebody giving me that look before, or something like with his dad or his family. There's like some bad blood or something that he feels guilty about, but we don't know what it is yet. And so they're going through all of this. They're like, the wife is telling them what she needs them to do, and they're like, okay, we'll do it. I mean, they're getting paid nice to do this. It says, have you ever heard of the term dreamwalker? I was like, wait, what? Dreamwalker? I mean, obviously dreams of the dying, but I'm really enjoying this book. I'm liking the direction. I'm really liking the setting of it. The characters are fantastic, even though I can't remember their names, only just far. That's the only name I know. And when I'm listening to it, I'm like trying to remember the city names, like Unali. I'm not going to remember names. We're just going to call them cities and towns and characters. But anyways, yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I want to see what this Dreamwalker situation is, because now we're on a journey to go meet up with somebody that apparently might be a Dreamwalker. So I'm wondering if we're going to be going into the dreams of this king to find out. Like, they don't know why this king is in a coma, and so the job of these two is to find answers, like who's attacking the king. There has to be something supernatural about this. We've already heard that there's like in this world we have dimensions, so there's dimensionists, even though I kept understanding dimensionist. I'm like, dementia, like what the hell, but it's dimensionist. And so there's different dimensions, and I'm figuring that we're going to be going into dream dimensions, into sleep dimensions, maybe the kings, I don't know, but I'm super excited to dive more into it because it's so interesting. I love things about the mind and dreaming and the subconscious. I love reading about those kinds of things, and so I'm like, I'm a pig in shit right now. I will say that it's taken me a little bit more to follow than the last fantasy book that I read. I don't want to keep saying that name, the title of the book, because I feel like I'm talking too much about it. But that's just how much I love it. I feel like in the other book, I was following more easily than I am in here. In here, I do have to like rewind sometimes or go back and see if what I heard was correct or not, because there's like a lot of weird words. In that other book, there wasn't a lot of weird words. There was a lot of things going on, but it wasn't like I was struggling with like names and stuff other than our main characters at the beginning. But with this one, I'm finding it a little harder to follow, but not so much that I'm like not knowing what's going on. Like, I could follow the storyline, but at times I'm getting stuck. I wonder if they did a reprint of the book when they changed the names in it and stuff, because obviously my edition is an old edition. This has been sitting here for like 3 years, and I bought this off of Pango, or maybe 2 years. I think maybe like 2 years, and I got it off of Pango, so it's like the old version, but I wonder if there's a new edited, updated version of this book in print, because I know the ebook obviously is updated, but oh my gosh, this book, I hope they didn't change the cover of it though, like the print of the cover on the actual hardcover. Is there a name for that? Like when they print the cover on the actual hardcover book, is there a name for that? Because I keep like saying that long ass sentence every time. There has to be a name. There has to be a name for when they do that. All right, so I've got to the 270 page, no, not 270, I wish, 217 page mark of Dreams of the Dying. Things are picking up a little bit more. It's been a very slow burn, a very slow process up to now. I mean, it's still going really slow, but we're getting into the more interesting parts, the parts of the book where we're going into dreams and we're diving into other dimensions, which I'm super excited about, but it is going much slower than I would like, but I'm still enjoying it nonetheless. I'm liking the characters, the setting. We got some creepy, like dimensional kind of scenes that are pretty awesome. We've just encountered a new character and I'm liking him as well. They go seeking for somebody that can go into this other dimension to see what's going on with this king. Ultimately, the whole book is trying to find out what's wrong with this king that has just come under a coma, and they're trying to go through every avenue possible, including dimensions. And so when they go get this person that's going to go into this other dimension to see what's going on with this king, I'm trying to be as like vague as possible without giving away too much. But when they go find this person that they're seeking, this person is ill, and they end up coming back with somebody that's a little bit more inexperienced. Not a little bit more, like a lot more inexperienced. This person still has the same capabilities as the one they went searching for, but very minimal. This new character really hasn't expanded on his abilities. He's a very big novice and he's kind of freaking out because of what he has to do. And so that's where we are right now. I'm still liking Jasper. I think they say it's Jasper in the audiobook. I'm still enjoying his character. He's the one that's always like willing to go the extra mile, willing to put himself before other people. And I don't know how true that is. I mean, the person that he's putting himself in front of is actually like somebody that he's interested in. So I don't know if he's just that free with his protection. But he's always willing to go and put himself in dangerous positions, which I like. The setting I'm really enjoying. It's like very creepy, especially when we're going into these other dimensions, and very dark, which of course you know that I'm enjoying. So it is the day before the last day of the readathon, so I gotta get cracking on this because I would really love to finish this by the end of tomorrow, which is the last day for Tome Topple. Hey guys, so it is the last day of Tome Topple. It is July 4th and I've made a little bit of progress. I am so mad at Jasper right now, like so incredibly mad at him that I don't even want to talk about it. I think I'm on chapter 13 right now. And I'm trying to find what page mark that is because I'm keeping up with it on my Kindle, but not on the physical book. I'm at what happened there? I'm at the 300 page mark right now. And like I said, I'm super mad at Jasper and I just want to beat him up right now. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but there's this aspect of the book. We have like all the regular chapters, but then we have interludes and we have other chapters in between that's called the swamp. I'm a little bit confused, and one of our characters is in both of those spots, but the interludes are told from this mysterious man or this mysterious character that we don't know the name of, which is where we start the book off with. He's the one that asks, did you think that you can hide from us? Did you think the boy would keep you from us? Or something like that. And so you're continuing these interludes with this man, and then you're continuing these areas that's called the swamp. And I don't know how they tie in yet. And every time the interlude parts come on, I'm super intrigued by them. Also, this audiobook is amazing. I haven't seen if it's like a full cast, but if this is one man doing all of these voices and these accents and these I'm like super impressed. It is amazing. And the interludes, the narrator and the interludes, wow, it keeps me super intrigued. It's a super dark part of the book. It almost feels like, even though you do see a background, like there is a set stage that they paint for you in the book, it almost feels like these interludes are like suspended like in nothingness and just black air. Does that make sense? It's incredible, the vibes and the atmosphere that I'm getting from those parts, but I don't know how they play in. I'm still super confused when those parts come on. And I'm just trying to tell myself, you know what, just continue, because I'm like, did I miss something? Am I not catching on to something? Am I supposed to feel confused? If you've read this book, let's chat about that aspect of it. I want more of the interludes, but I feel like I also want more of these other dimensions. I feel like we haven't even really touched on really how big these dimensions are, so I would like to see a little bit more of that. But if we spend the rest of the book with these interludes, I would be in heaven, because the voice, the atmosphere, and just like I said, like you just feel like you're suspended in nothingness when this is going on. It's really hard for me to picture the setting that's supposed to be there, even though in these interludes he's repeating one specific part of the setting over and over and over again in each of the interludes, so you're drilled that the background and people that are there. But to me, it's just this thing, person, being, demon, I don't know what he is, talking and referring himself to another character. I'm just about to punch you in the face, about to slap you. But super enjoying it. Like I said, I'm at the 300 page mark, and I think this book, what was like 700 pages? Yeah, I got 400 pages left. I do not know, you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm kind of nervous now, but whatever. I'm enjoying the book. And like I said, for the third time, this is how mad I am at him. I am so pissed off at Jasper right now. I'm so mad at him. Like, why did he have to do that? Okay, I'm gonna go back to reading because it's July 4th, so my husband is not working, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done. Oh my gosh, I didn't plan this correctly. I want to read 6 books. I'm gonna try to read all 6 tomes. Okay. Why are you so cute? I love him so much. Okay, good boy. What, you want a belly rub? You want a belly rub? Thank you. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can I talk about the book for a little second? Yeah? You give me permission? Okay, as long as I'm petting you? Okay. So, it is super gloomy out. So it's super gloomy out, it's thundering, it's raining, and guess what? Tome Topple finished yesterday. And here we are. I have not finished Dreams of the Dying yet. Summerween starts today. But you're like ripping my clothes off in front of the camera. Like, hello. And Summerween started today, and I'm gonna have to begin late because I really want to finish. You good? I really want to finish Dreams of the Dying. I am right now, oh damn, let me see what chapter I'm on because I'm doing fully audiobook at this point. Oh, I've figured out, okay, first off, Jaspar has redeemed himself. He immediately redeems himself. I mean, he still fucks up and I was still mad at him, but he redeemed himself and he does the right thing. So I wanted to say that because I was quick. Did you hear the thundering? Reading weather, but I have to update you guys because I mean, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon right now, and I'm hoping to finish this by at least 7 o'clock so that at 7 o'clock I could start Summerween. I'm so excited. So excited. But I have finally pieced together this interlude episode that we're having. I'm guessing that the author wants us to know who it is by this point, but we're still not referencing this person by who he really is. This book is very gloomy, very heavy. And for me, it's been hard to pick it up. I don't know if it's just because I've been in another reading mood. I've been dying to read this book, Buried in a Good Book. I bought this off of Pango. I bought book 1 and book 2 out of the trilogy. And it's just, I read like the first couple pages when my order came in, and I just wanted to drop everything and read this. But I'm trying to be very good and not given to my mood just yet. And so it's been really, I don't know if that, because I'm not in this mood, I've been like hesitating to read this, or it could have just been because it's July 4th week. You know, my husband has been off of work more than he's been at work, and so we've been just hanging out. And yes, I like when he's not working, we hang out and chill and just do everything together. And so it's really hard for me to like sit there and read. So that's the only reason why I have been staying away from the book. But it also is a very dark and gloomy book. The scenes, at least in my head, are very dark, especially when we're going into other dimensions. And this has to do with dreaming, and there's a war going on, or there's a war about to go on in this area. And so there's a lot of like death, and it's a very like heavy and dark read, as to where the other book that I keep referencing to because I love it so much, it was more of a lighter fantasy than what this is. So it's been taking me a while to pick it up, but I'm loving it. It's so unique, and the way that the author has interwoven these chapters and these interludes, and just the way that he's I'm really enjoying it. But right now I have reached the 530-ish page mark. I have this much left. And so actually not even, because half of this is like artwork and stuff. So really I have this much left as opposed to this. which counts, right? I'm always blurry, but loving it. And yeah, I want to finish it. Hopefully I'll see you soon with me wrapping up this vlog. I think that Tome Topple has put me in a little bit of a slump though. I don't know if it's Tome Topple and the big books and wanting to overdo things, or if it's that I'm just in another mood and I've slumped, or that the book that wouldn't burn left me with a book hangover, because I do keep thinking about that book. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Let me go finish this behemoth. I finished. It is actually like the next day, so it is day 2 of Summerween. But I actually did get to finish this yesterday. I had set myself to finish at 7 o'clock at night so I could start Summerween at 7. And I actually finished it at 7:21. I call that a win. I finished it. I feel so accomplished, so happy. Number 1, that I finally read Dreams of the Dying. And number 2, that I ticked off another book off of my 24 books to read in 2024. Like, I'm feeling so accomplished. It was such a well-written book. I love the characters, I love the setting, I love the storyline. I think I've said that like 15 million times in the video, but I really did. I enjoyed every aspect of the book. There was aspects that I was bored with. Jaspar is a very private person, and so he was dealing with a lot of issues himself, and he wouldn't open up to other people, and there are other people that are trying to help him cope through all these things that he's going through, because going into this other dimension and putting himself in dangerous situations, he also puts himself vulnerable to what he's going through in a sort of sense. And I don't want to get too much into that to spoil, you know, part of the experience of this book and this character, but he would put himself in these positions that would bring out his vulnerable side, and then when people would try to help him, he was kind of like, no, I'm okay. Like, he would sort of close up and wouldn't be able to speak. So those parts were kind of frustrating to me. I'm the type of person that I like to talk things out, and I like people to know how I'm feeling, not necessarily because people need to know how I'm feeling, but because I like to put people at ease that it's not them, it's me, you know. I'm just like that type of communicating type of person. But I can also be very private with not wanting to burden people with my issues, and so I could sort of relate to him, but those parts kind of frustrated me. But obviously, if he were to speak of his problems, we wouldn't have such a large book. I felt like some of the parts of the book could have really been omitted, because there was a lot of repetition with Jaspar as a character, and with talking about the situation that's going on with the kingdom and the king was kind of very repetitive. I feel like this could have been a 500-page book as opposed to a 700-page book. But who am I to say? I always say this, like, who am I to talk about that? I'm just the reader. The author does what he wants, but from my perspective, I feel like it could have been a little shorter, but still super enjoyable. There is a second book that is supposed to be coming out, Curing the Dying or Curing the Dead or Curing Death, something like that. And when you go onto Goodreads, it says that it was supposed to be published in 2022, but the book hasn't come out yet. And when you look at some of the people's comments on Goodreads, there's a couple. It's set to release in 2024. Now, I haven't dug any deeper to see what is going on. I'm sure that the author having to cut ties with the game has kind of pushed back the book, maybe. I'm guessing that he had to do a lot of changes to the book with the names and the places. I know that Jaspar's last name is changed throughout the new edition, and this one he still has the old name in. So I'm sure he had to go and do a lot of editing or a lot of revisions with the new book. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but I'm super interested to see where the other book goes. The way that this ended, it wasn't like wow, but I did like how it ended. I felt kind of bad for Jaspar, really, because I was so mad at him throughout little parts of the book, but then towards the end I really felt for him because of how it concluded. But I'm super eager to see, number 1, if we will have a book 2. Like I said, I haven't really dug into what's going on in book 2, but I did go onto his website and it still says that the book is coming soon, but it doesn't have a date. I'm hoping that we do get it. I do plan on reading book 2 to see what goes on in this crazy world. There was a big twist that I honestly did not see coming, and I enjoyed that aspect as well. And just the way it concluded, it was good. It wasn't like the most perfect ending. I mean, if you really think about it, since there's gonna be a book 2, maybe it was a perfect ending, but I wish I would have seen something different when it came to one of the relationships. But overall, it was a great book. At the middle of it, I was thinking about giving it 4 stars. Then I went into 5 stars because we did get more of the dimensions that I wanted, and the other, like the interludes and stuff. When we started getting more of the interludes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a 5. But I think I'm gonna end up going back to 4 stars because I just did think that it was too long. It didn't need to be so long to get to where it was going, to be completely honest, but still a wonderful, wonderful read, and I am so happy that I finally got to read this book. So that is the end of Tome Topple. Super proud of myself. We didn't get to where we wanted to with the whole 6 books that I wanted to read from the beginning. I should have known better, but I do that a lot. I overdo it sometimes. My mind just over exaggerates things that I want to do, and then I end up doing like not even a quarter of what I wanted to do. But it's okay. 2 tomes in 2 weeks. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with the quality of the contents that I read. They were both such great books. Obviously, The Book That Wouldn't Burn would have to win favorite for this readathon. I mean, I don't need to say any more of how much I enjoyed that book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this whole vlog series for Tome Topple. I hope you guys enjoyed the books that I talked about. I hope that I have piqued your interest on any one of these. Let me know if you're interested in reading any of these. Let me know what you read for Tome Topple, if you did participate in it, or if you did not participate, let me know a book that you have on your TBR that's 500 pages or book, you know, like that big book that you're super intimidated to pick up. Let me know what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one, which hopefully will be Summerween's vlog. Bye!